What's up, Dirt Trax viewers? Luke here, bringing you guys another walk around video. And by walk around, I don't mean having deer walk around me. That's not what's happening today, but it is actually what's happening today. Today we got a walk around on a new model from Polaris. It's actually not really a new model, it's an updated model. This is the 2025 Ranger XP 1000. This is sort of the full jam version. It's got all the bells and whistles, and there's some new and interesting stuff on this vehicle. Some you can see and some you can't. So I want to go over the whole thing with you guys today, tell you all about what's new, what's changed, what stayed the same, what we like, what we don't like. We'll get into it right now. Now, of course, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss anything. We don't want you guys to miss anything. We got all kinds of great content coming out, so subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to get notified immediately when we upload new content, which we're doing regularly, make sure you turn the bell on. And of course, if you like this video, click that like button. That means a lot to us, and it tells us that we're doing what you want us to be doing. We're doing a good job. So that's all I got to say about that. Ranger, Polaris 2025. Again, this is an XP 1000, and this is the full jam version. Polaris has done quite a few things with their Ranger lineup this season. So they still have everything from the 570 midsize all the way up to the XD 1500. So that there's a full lineup of Rangers. There's a Ranger 1000, and there's still the 1000 and 1000 XP, and they are different. But this year they've made some changes to basically 1000 up to the XD, but the XD doesn't get changed and the 570 doesn't get changed. So just to be sort of clear on that. What's changed? Well, first of all of the vehicles get a new front fascia. So it's just a restyle. There's nothing different in the front end about how they work or function or anything like that. It's a restyle. It looks good. It brings it sort of more in line with the XD 1500, looks more similar, you know, as a refresh. It just makes it look new and fresh. It's funny because the old look was like, I think 5 years old, and they were talking about how it was getting so old, and I never even noticed because it still looked really modern, but Polaris decided that it wasn't modern enough and it needed a refresh. So that's what you get in the front. I mean, it's all just plastic. It's nothing to write home about. It does look really good though, and I really like the new look. What has changed up here though on the XP 1000 is this bumper. So this is now standard, and this is something that was in their catalog before as an accessory, but is now a standard part. And they have all kinds of accessory pieces that bolt onto it. You can get an upper bumper, you can get extensions on the sides, you can get LED lights that fit right into these holes here, and they're pre-drilled. Go right into the bus bar, into the hood. So you can actually make the front of this thing look really, really awesome. And I think we'll be able to put up a shot of one with the whole front bumper on here for you guys to see, because I think it looks really tough with the extensions. So this is a standard part now, which is great. That's added value without changing the price. So the price is going to stay basically the same, but you're getting more for your money. Also included on every Ranger 1000 now is one of Polaris's 4,500 pound winches. This is their premium winch. Everyone gets the premium winch. There's no Ranger 1000 that's sold now without a winch. It has synthetic cable. It has the magnetic stop fair lead. This is, in my opinion, the best winch in the industry. It just has the features that work. The magnetic stop or auto stop magnetic fair lead stops you from getting your synthetic cable bound up inside. It just works amazing for plowing. The magnetic auto stop system, you just pull on it till it stops, and it's a no-brainer. It's thoughtless. It also comes with a wired remote in the dashboard, which is on the driver's side, and that's really interesting. It's on this side of the steering wheel. And the reason they did that was so that you can stand here with the door open with your finger on the switch and watch the winch while you run the winch. A lot of companies put their winch control in the middle of the dash, which means you have to be sitting in the driver's seat to use it. Polaris thought really long and hard about this. If I was standing right here, I could reach the switch right now and control the winch. That is so smart, and I think that was just a perfect example of how Polaris is listening to customers and building vehicles that customers are asking for. So front end, new front bumper, winch, new restyle. The other thing that all of the XPs are getting this year is bigger tires. So they all now come with 29-inch tires across every model. That is standard. Over here we've got Pro Armor X Terrain, and they are 29s. So it's a great looking tire. This wheel is standard, nice looking aluminum wheels, and this is a great tire. This is today where we've been riding. We've been on loose terrain, gravel, we've been in some mud and some water, and we got great traction with these tires no matter where we went. They're tough and durable, and they look good. And they're 29, so you get more ground clearance, and that's a major bonus. So moving around the vehicle, this is obviously a Northstar, and that's The Northstar today, it was like 108 degrees here in Texas today. It was so hot. This thing's got the full cab, fully sealed, air conditioning. It has heat, but we definitely didn't need that. Power windows. This is the full jam kit. I love how Polaris has integrated the cab though into the design of the vehicle. With these chamfered edges here, it doesn't look like the doors stick out. They're not like an add-on piece. They flow with the body. I like how they've got this plastic insert in the door that flows with the body panel here. It looks really tough. And it matches back here with the same. If it was painted, this would be painted as well if it was a different color than black. Obviously your doors are locking with a key, so you can lock your cab. It comes with the roof, and that's the other thing, that all Ranger 1000 models now come with a roof. So it doesn't matter if you get the cab or not, you get a roof standard, another added value added item that everyone adds to their Rangers anyway. And Polaris said, if everybody's already adding it, let's just give it to our customers basically for free. The prices are staying very much the same and you're getting extra features. So that's really, really good. When you get the Northstar, you get the windshield wiper. It does have a sprayer and the tank's right up under here. These vehicles as well, Ranger XPs, have 2 bus bars. And if you don't know what a bus bar is from Polaris, it's basically pre-wired electrical. So when you buy something electrical, let's say you buy a light kit to go in your bumper right here, it's gonna come pre-wired with ring connectors, and that's it. You put your plug in the dash, the wiring harness will all come with everything, and then under here is a bar with 12-volt posts on it. And all you have to do is just attach the wire that Polaris sends you to the 12-volt post, screw it down, and you're good to go. You don't have to run wires from the battery, and that's amazing. But it goes further than that. So if you want to attach accessories here to the front, you know, how many light bars can you fit? As many as you have bus bars for, I guess. But if you want to attach crap to the front, you can do that here, and there's a bus bar. There's also a bus bar up here. So if you want to put lights on the roof, backup lights on the back of the cab, anything you want to run internal or up on the roof, there's a bus bar up there too. So you literally no longer have to run power wires up your roll bar to get power up there. It's already there. That's amazing. That is so nice for customers who want to add their own accessories. That is such a value-added feature that you have to consider when you're thinking about buying a Polaris. I mean, install of almost any accessory, electrical accessory on a Polaris is something that you can do at home in barely any time at all. It's totally usable, installable now because of the bus bars. It just makes it so simple. So one of the things that hasn't changed on the 2025 Ranger is the box, and it stays basically exactly the same as the box that we've always come to know and love on the Ranger. It's really deep. You have D-ring tie-down points in each corner. You have lock and ride accessory points here. You've got stake pockets, divider inlays inside the side of the box sides, and then you've got a one-handed tailgate here with cup holders. Like everything here is what we already know and love about a Polaris box. It's a one-handed tilting mechanism right here, hydraulic assisted, obviously, allows access to all your different systems under the hood. I mean, you can get to your spark plugs. It's hard to say about a lot of vehicles these days. Obviously, the Northstar comes with, as I said, the full cab, which means proper glass front and rear windshields. One thing Polaris has done with their roof, though, and it needs to be mentioned, is that this is not the regular Polaris roof. This is a new roof, and it's been redesigned to seal better, to be easier to install. And they talked about the shingling, and I'm not sure what that means, but it basically means that it doesn't leak. It sheds water better without causing any leaks. We ran this sucker through some water today at real high speeds and got everything really, really wet. And I can tell you without a doubt, it does not leak. It doesn't leak air. We were running in crazy dust today. And I mean, even last season's Ranger Northstar, when you ran in dust, you would get dust in the cabin. It always came in somehow. This thing has no dust in it after running in dusty conditions all day long. There's not a flake of dust anywhere inside. And that's pretty impressive. They do have a cabin filter, so you're getting air-conditioned air that's been filtered, so there's no dust. It's amazing. If you ride in hot, dusty conditions, you need this. It's not like, oh, that would be nice. It's like, just go get it, because you're never gonna wanna be without it. So moving around the back here, you've got your typical Polaris independent suspension. There's nothing new there. 2-inch hitch receiver. Polaris has got some really good numbers when it comes to haulage. You can haul 1,000 pounds in the box. You can tow 2,500 pounds from your hitch. It's amazing. 2-inch hitch receiver means you can use any 2-inch hitch receiver from your truck to tow whatever trailer you want. So all that stuff stays the same. It's all stuff we love about Polaris, and it's all stuff that works really, really well. Obviously, the tires are not a square pattern. They're different on the front and the back. They're wider on the back, and you can see that here. This is a super tough suspension system. Polaris has never had issues with their suspension on Rangers. It can handle the load. It Has preload adjustable shocks with snail cam adjusters. If you are going to load it up, you can just crank those things up. So that's good. Everything back here is normal stuff. The motor's the same as it's always been. That's great. So why don't we go inside now, since we've talked about basically everything outside. We'll talk about the interior and some changes that are done in there, and then we'll talk about some changes that you can't see elsewhere on the vehicle. So let's hop inside. Interior wise, things have stayed very similar to what they have been in the past. Here in a Ranger, you've got split seating. This seat flips up and you've got extra room down here. It's got a 5-gallon pail inlay inside the floor if you want to put a pail down there. There's little storage areas here for, I don't even know what, but under here, you know, you've got your battery if you need quick access to your battery. So that's always super handy. Yeah, so there's lots of space in here. We heard some of the people who are at the intro here who are ranchers say that they often put baby calves in the cab of their side-by-sides. There's something I've never done. 3-seat bench, of course, bolstered seats. Look at how nicely bolstered these are. And we rode them today. We were riding pretty hard. The bolstering is very nice. Interior, the roof is all carpeted. It's actually quite quiet in here. It's actually nicely sound deadened. It's pretty impressive. The mirror is standard here, but it's not standard. It's not a standard item on all Rangers, but it is standard here in the Northstar. As you can see, the Northstar has ride command. Again, ride command does all the things it always does. There's nothing new with ride command. You've got group ride, you've got your audio, you've got your phone calls, you've got mapping, you've got your gauge, fully customizable gauge and all that great stuff. Everything still works the way it always does. You can add Ride Command Plus now, which is an accessory and it's simply an add-on. And it gives you things like vehicle maintenance records. It'll tell you where your vehicle is at all times. If your vehicle gets bumped or moved, it'll give you warnings. It's got all kinds of diagnostic and security features. It's an add-on. It's not very, I think it's only like 200 or 300 bucks. So it's probably a worthwhile add-on. And interestingly, Ride Command Plus does not require Ride Command. You can put Ride Command Plus on any vehicle as an aftermarket accessory. You can add Ride Command to any vehicle as well as an aftermarket accessory, but you can add Ride Command Plus to a vehicle that doesn't have Ride Command if you want the diagnostics and the security stuff. So something to consider. Now, as we've talked about, the interior of this vehicle has AC and heat, and that's down here. You got multi levels for your fans. You got your heat and cool down here. Your air conditioning compressor on off is right here. It's a variable speed air conditioning compressor. So when you're at idle, it runs slower, and when you're at speed, it runs faster. And that's so that you can continue to get AC when the engine is at idle and doesn't have as much power being generated through the alternator. You still have air conditioning because the compressor just runs lower, so it doesn't draw as much power. That's cool. For your defrost, you got vents on the dash here, which is really good. Your glove compartment here. The winch in the front has a wired remote, as we talked about over here. It also comes with a wireless remote, so that actually comes with your vehicle pre-installed, which is cool. And then you have a little compartment up here as well that's fairly nicely sealed. I don't know that I would trust that being weather sealed, but you're in a weather sealed cab, so who cares? There's all kinds of cubbies in here. Up here, we put our phones up here and they work pretty good. Cup holders here and there. Little storage bins down here that I wouldn't trust anything in. But you also have this new feature that you're gonna have trouble seeing, but right here, underneath the steering wheel is like a rubber, I don't know, it's like got rubber flaps. It's a hole, it's a hole made of rubber between your legs. What? Anyway, it's for water bottles, and it's like got this rubber membrane thing. You push the water bottle through and it holds it tight so it can't come out, and it's awesome, and it's right here. It's such a smart move. I love it. It's one of those things that when you see it, you go, huh, that's really smart. How come nobody thought of that? But then the one thing this doesn't have that an Expedition does is the little rubber phone holder that an Expedition has. So when you connect your phone to Ride Command in the Expedition, you slide your phone in this little rubber slot that holds it tight so it doesn't rattle. This doesn't have that. So I really would have liked to have seen that. But, you know, whatever. You got your light controls on this side, 4x4 here, your drive modes, work, standard, and performance here, your windshield wiper and sprayer here. What else can we talk about inside? Tilt steering, adjustable driver's seat. These are all standard things that the Rangers always had. You got your power window switches here. I can never remember which one is which from side to side, whether it's front and rear. I still don't know. You'll figure it out if you own it. Your door releases are here. They're kind of a weird push forward lever. Works great, but it takes some getting used to. And of course, Polaris has their push out tilt windshield that has multiple settings. So you've got obviously fully open, that makes sense. And then when you pull on the handle here, if you lock it partially, there's a setting in the middle right there that you can lock your windshield partially open to let some airflow in. And that's a really cool feature. If you're not needing AC, but you still want some more airflow, you can do that. And then you just let it drop and lock it full as it is there. So you got 12 volt USB plugs here, 12 volt here for your, what do you call it, a battery tender. Plug is right there. You can also have an adapter that you can get 12 volt power from your battery tender plug. So if you can power your phone or whatever you want, or your coffee maker. And then there's another 12 volt outlet, cigarette lighter style outfit right there. So there's lots of power available for people for whatever you want to run in here. Now, as I said, there's a bus bar right here. There's little grommets along here that you pop out, and then this panel removes, and there's a bus bar for adding accessories, rear light bars, rear backup lights, whatever you want. Polaris even has some cool accessory backup lights now that turn on when you put it in reverse. So they are legitimately backup lights, but you also have a switch on the dash, so you can turn them on if you just want light behind your vehicle. So that's a pretty cool feature. Backing up is something that's often very difficult to do at night, especially with a full cab or stuff in the back. You do have a backup camera on this model on the Northstar with the ride command, and those lights are just going to make the backup camera work that much better. Okay, so the other thing we got to talk about is right here. This is your shifter, as it always has been. But one thing that's new on these new Ranger 1000s is there's a new transmission. Not a new belt transmission, not a new CVT. It's the transmission that shifts from park, reverse, neutral, low, high. That transmission is new, and it's designed to be smoother. And I can categorically say that it is like, oh my goodness, it's so smooth. And it works great, even when the vehicle's under load. So when you put it in park on a hill and you want to push it out of park, everyone knows how difficult that can be. It's actually really simple with this. It's so much smoother, so much easier, requires so much less effort. It was one of those things that Polaris said, hey, we've got a new transmission. I'm like, no one's going to notice. Who cares? You can't see it. It makes a huge, huge difference. So that's not something that's just, that's not just words. It actually makes a difference, and it makes the user experience better. So kudos to Polaris for that. That's a big one. What else can I tell you? The other new thing that Polaris is doing with their Ranger lineup this year, and it's a confidence thing, and this is basically proof that Polaris is confident in their Ranger lineup and how durable it is. They got all kinds of new testing equipment at the factory now. They're doing ultrasonic testing for leaks inside the cab. They got shaker tables. They got rain rooms. They got all kinds of stuff for testing these vehicles beyond what they've ever had before. And they're so confident that the products they're building are durable and will stand up to all kinds of abuse that they're offering a 2-year warranty now on Ranger models. So that's amazing. And to help you get a Ranger even easier, they've actually lowered the MSRP of the base Ranger 1000. So they're lowering prices. For people who complain about how much things cost and how everything's getting more expensive, Polaris is giving you the base Ranger 1000 for less money. So you can no longer complain that everything's going up in price. Okay, that was my spiel. The last thing I'm going to talk about in here is something that's harder to see, but you can still see it. Polaris has partnered with JBL now. Now, they've had JBL systems in their other vehicles, but they've now partnered with JBL to produce audio systems for the Ranger lineup. So this one's got the speakers right here. They're integrated right into the dash. They look factory. They sound amazing. You can get up to 4 extra speakers on top of these ones and a subwoofer. So you can have this thing like pounding the beats like nobody's business. That was probably a dad thing to say. But yeah, you can have these things loud. And the actual fact is that they're tuned acoustically for each individual vehicle. So JBL doesn't just produce speakers and Polaris throws them in here. JBL spends time with each one of these vehicles and acoustically tunes their speaker systems to sound right inside the vehicle. And they do. I mean, Graham and I were ripping around on this thing today with the music blaring, and it sounds crisp and loud and clear and really, really good. So that's pretty cool on the higher end models, and it's something you can add to the lower end models if you choose to as well. I kind of think that might be it. I can't think of anything else. Okay, so I guess we'll end on this. There are some different models coming from Polaris this year. There's some favorites that are coming back, some special editions. And I will say this, all of the non-special edition Rangers get standard A-arms. The special edition Rangers get arched A-arms. So you've got a Texas edition now, a Northstar Texas edition. That's a new model they've never had before. The Northstar Texas edition gets arched A-arms, a custom kind of camo, different type of camo paint wrap, and it gets Texas Edition stitched seating. So those are the three things you get. Really the only one that actually matters to the vehicle is the arched arms. It's the only mechanical upgrade of the rest of it's visual. And then they have the waterfowl edition has come back as well. It was something that people asked for big time, and it gets arched arms as well, and then its own waterfowl camo scheme, paint scheme. So those are two special editions that people have been asking for and are now back in the lineup. Mechanically, the only difference between all of them is the arched arms though, so keep that in mind. Other than that, there's really nothing else to say. I'll start this thing up for you so you can hear it. It sounds just like every other Ranger you've ever heard, but if I don't, you guys will yell at me, so let's do that. Air conditioning. Turn the fan down. Isn't that thrilling? Didn't that just change your whole day and make it better? That's what it sounds like. But really, the only thing the sound that I really care about is that, because it means cold air is blowing on me right now and it feels fantastic. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it answered some of your questions about Polaris's Ranger lineup for 2025. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. If there's anything else you want to see during these videos, make sure you leave comments. We always read them. We respond to the ones that are you know, worth responding to and aren't just abusive. So make sure they're nice. Again, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate it all. And we'll see you guys in the next one.